This month of June is another month for the records. We have some positive energy this month, albeit with a bit of challenging energy in the mix. We have an intense full moon happening in the sign of Sagittarius, a nicer new moon happening in its home sign of Cancer, and the main event of the month will be Jupiter moving into the sign of Cancer, where it hasn't been since 2013 to 2014. And if you have your natal Jupiter in Cancer, this is your Jupiter return, which is a pretty big deal. At the end of the month, we do have Mercury also moving into its shadow retrograde period. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag energy this month. If you'd like to see where this energy is happening for you based on your rising sign, keep on watching. Hi friends, and if you're new here, my name is Alex. I'm an astrologer based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and in today's video I'm going to be covering June's energies and then looking at where they will be happening for you based on your rising sign. You can check out more of my work over on my Instagram at Venus in Virgo Astrology, and you can book a personal reading with me over on my website www.venusinvirgoastrology.com. I have a wide array of readings available, but let's get into the rest of this video. Before I do, I just want to put a disclaimer that I do use New Zealand Standard Time, as that is where I'm based in the world, so just make sure to adjust the dates and times based on where you're located in the world. But let's get into the rest of the video. Kicking off June's energy, we do have Venus moving into her home sign of Taurus. This is a beautiful energy for Venus to be in. She is in her home sign. She's happy here. She's expressed well here. It's a nice refreshing energy as opposed to her transit through Aries, where she was in her detriment. So she is really happy in the sign of Taurus. If you have your natal Venus in Taurus, this is your Venus return, but it's a really lovely energy for anyone out there with strong Taurus placements or strong earth placements in general. Also, if you have any strong Scorpio placements. With Venus in Taurus, we might be investing in our friendships, our relationships, things that just make us feel good, our fashion, our aesthetic. We might just be wanting to luxuriate a bit more than usual. We might just be investing in things that just help us feel good in whatever we're doing. We're not worried about sort of how we're spending money, it's more what we're spending money on. We're maybe focusing on our finances and getting a little bit more clear and grounded in where they're coming from, or just connecting with our values more and people that really align with our values and help us feel seen and understood. Then moving on to the 9th of June, we do have Mercury and Gemini conjoining Jupiter in Gemini. Now this will be the last time that this will be happening for a wee while. Mercury conjoining Jupiter in Gemini. Obviously Mercury's in its home sign of Gemini, and Jupiter expands anything it touches. So we might be receiving some important news, or things might be having some big conversations with people. We might just be having big ideas or having big conversations, or just wanting to put our ideas out there that are received in a positive way. Obviously this can also be a challenging energy, although it's not a challenging conjunction, but Mercury is a trickster energy, so we might be receiving or hearing news that could just be a little bit more blown out of proportion than it really needs to be, or our feelings and mindset might be a bit more busier than usual. Also on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into the sign of Cancer. With Mercury in Cancer, we might be having conversations that help us feel nurtured, seen, understood. We're wanting to have conversations that are really maybe we're having conversations with our families, or connecting with our families, or those that feel like family to us in a way that we haven't necessarily been before. Maybe we're focusing on learning or diving into topics that nurture us from the inside out. Maybe we're wanting to invest in our health and looking after our body and our vessel in a way that's able to fill our cup up so we can pour into others. That's very much this Cancerian energy this month of June. It's really highlighted. So if you have any prominent placements in Cancer or Capricorn, you're really going to feel this month's energy personally. Then on the 10th of June, we have quite a few things happening. We have Venus in Taurus squaring Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. there's a lot of squares happening this month. So this energy, we could be feeling a bit of a challenge when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our finances. We might be feeling like we need to do a bit of a deeper dive into our relationships. Are they aligning with our values? Are we reassessing where our values are at? Maybe we are undergoing a personal deep change and transformation. Maybe we're having connections with others that feel really deeply personal and transformative, or really uncovering things that we might not have seen before in our relationships. Maybe things are bubbling up to the surface around the 10th of June and into the rest of this month. Also on the 10th of June, we have Mercury in Cancer squaring Neptune in Aries. Now, we haven't experienced this energy before. Obviously, Neptune's very new to being in Aries, so it is an interesting energy to navigate. We might be feeling like we're not having the full picture. We might be having conversations that are quite triggering. Maybe conversations with our family are triggering us. Maybe situations to do with our family are triggering us. However, this undercurrent that we're not quite sure. There's this undercurrent of uncertainty. Neptune is the planet of illusionment, so there is something we're not quite seeing here. Could possibly be brought back up to the surface when Neptune does station retrograde a little bit later in the year. This energy could come back up that we're revisiting, so just be cautious about what's happening now. It may or may not do, but it could be like a little bit of a indicator of to what you might experience with the Neptune retrograde energy. So conversations right now likely feel intense, overwhelming, and not too certain what the heck is going on. So just to be cautious this week and basically the rest of this month. But this challenging energy with Venus in Taurus squaring Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, and then Mercury in Cancer squaring Neptune in squaring Neptune in Aries. There's this very intense, I want to start things, want to do things. Maybe we're being held back or obstructed in a way that's not quite clear. And maybe we're just reassessing what it actually means to us to be moving forward in this new energy, in this new space. We're really reassessing a lot this month, because then also on the 10th of June, we have Jupiter moving into Cancer. Now, Jupiter has not been in Cancer since from the 26th of June 2013 until the 16th of July 2014. Jupiter's transit is roughly 1 year through each sign. If you have your natal Jupiter in Cancer, this is your Jupiter return. Now, this is a 12-year cycle that we do experience through our lifetime. We experience it from age 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, and 96. So those are the ages that we do tend to experience our Jupiter return. Now, Jupiter is indicated in the tarot deck as the Fool card, and the energy of your Jupiter return can somewhat feel like stepping off a cliff into the unknown, but also the known at the same time. It's an exciting new phase of your life that can feel a bit overwhelming. Jupiter obviously expands everything. So it is this new energy that you might be experiencing that you kind of know what to expect, but also at the same time, it's brand new territory. So it's exciting. It's a positive. Jupiter is one of our benefic. It's our greatest benefic planet. So it is a positive energy, but it is an unknown energy. But it's an exciting new phase of your journey. So we will touch on where you'll find that energy, and especially if you do have your Jupiter in Cancer, you can really identify where this energy will be in your chart. Now, if you do want to learn more about transits and what energies will be showing up and sort of when the cycles happen for you, or just wanting to learn more in general, this is a wonderful book. I highly recommend this book. It breaks down the transits of the planets and when they will be happening and the different angles that they were making, like the squares, oppositions, sextiles, trines to your natal planets. This is a really, really helpful book. So I just wanted to share that as well. I will be making a video for Jupiter and Saturn returns, because I think these two are really interesting energies to pay attention to, because we do experience some really prominent aspects of this in our charts. So that's still to come, but if you're wanting to do a bit of your own research, that is a wonderful book I would recommend. Then on the 11th of June, we do have the full moon happening in the sign of Sagittarius. Now this is happening at 20 degrees and 39 minutes of Sagittarius, and it is happening at 7:43 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. So again, adjust this based on where you're located in the world. So at the time of this full moon, we have some really intense energy happening. We have quite a few squares happening and 2 T-squares happening during this full moon energy. So we do have obviously the sun opposing the moon, which is indicating it's a full moon. And at the time of this full moon, we do have the sun squaring the nodes, which will come exact on the 13th of June. So we'll touch on that energy in a bit more detail shortly. But we also have the moon squaring the nodes. Obviously, it's at the same degree. So we have these 2 T-squares happening that are suggesting to us again that we're needing to break out of the box in this mold that we've maybe put ourselves in. It's this mutable T-square energy that's happening. So this is maybe suggesting for us that we need to go with the flow more, that we need to break out of this energy, that there's some sort of restriction, or maybe we're going with the flow too much and we need to create a bit more structure in order to utilize this energy in a way that's going to serve us. However, also at the time of the full moon, we do have a bit of a fire grand trine happening, kind of not fully exact, but there is a pretty strong grand fire trine happening, and this is happening with the moon, Mars and Chiron in Aries. So the moon in Sagittarius, Mars in Leo, and Chiron in Aries, which is suggesting to us that we could be moving forward from things that might have been we might have been healing from for a while, especially with the eclipses happening Aries and Libra over the past few months last year. So this energy could be suggesting that we're kind of making leeway, kind of making headway into this new territory that we're working through or moving through, with Mars finally moving out of its retrograde shadow period and really exploring some new territory this year. Maybe we're feeling motivated and passionate to put the past behind us and to not let it hold us back anymore. Maybe we're just focusing on things that keep us inspired and creative. We're maybe feeling like we can finally step out of our comfort zone and put ourselves out there. The moon in Sagittarius needs freedom. The Mars in Leo needs to be heard and to be accepted and to be motivated by creativity and what lights it up. And then Chiron in Aries is suggesting healing a wound to do with ourselves, with who we are and how we are sort of putting ourselves out there in the world, our motivation, our drive. Obviously Mars rules Aries, so it's very much this positive drive and motivation to really get out of our own way and seek and explore new energy and territory this month and into the rest of this year. Then also Venus in Taurus is forming a positive sextile to Mercury in Cancer. Mercury in Cancer is forming a nice close conjunction to Jupiter in Cancer, which is also forming a sextile to Venus in Taurus. Beautiful energy with our 2 benefic planets. So although there's this challenging emotional energy, it's the nodes, it's causing a little bit of friction and challenge, but it's not like it's a planet or a very strong fixed type energy. It is a mutable energy. It's an energy we're able to sort of move through with that positive grand fire trine, and with this beautiful sextile with Venus and Jupiter. There's this really harmonious energy that's happening in our Taurian and Cancer parts of our chart. So there's this positive, maybe we're feeling a bit more motivated and inspired to put ourselves out there, go after our goals and dreams, and just really think big, this big picture thinking, right? And maybe just sort of not letting our frustrations as to where we are hold us back from dreaming big. That's what I'm kind of getting this full moon. It's a challenging full moon, but I think it's a full moon that's more like challenging, that we're maybe feeling stuck or frustrated rather than challenged by some dramatic event that's happening, like we probably had last full moon in Scorpio. The moon is in a fun fire sign. It's not in a deeply heavy introspective sign like last month. It's in a more positive, lighter sign. It's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in its exaltation. It's forming a positive sextile to Venus. There's this really nice energy happening around the time of this more challenging energy full moon. So we've got this interesting energy that's happening with our outer planets, that they're kind of merging together. We're having this more positive, unexpected, introspective energy that's maybe helping us think long term, helping us think, how are we going to achieve our goals in a way that feels more different and unique to set us up for success, that's going to be a bit more grounding and stabilizing in a way that we haven't really experienced or thought of before. We also have Neptune in a close conjunction to Saturn in Aries right now, and obviously Saturn has just moved into Aries. It moved into Aries last month, so we're still sort of navigating this energy. There's so much Aries energy happening right now, and it's really activated with this full moon in Sagittarius. So we could be feeling like we're just getting ideas, inspiration, and motivation to get out of our own way, to set up structure or to go with the flow, to achieve what it is we're wanting to achieve, and to call in this new energy and be motivated to not let the past or our old sort of wounding or frustrations or past issues or past things we've been working on hold us back from creating new memories, new goals, and new achievements. So that's the energy I sort of see for this full moon. It's definitely nicer than the full moon we had in Scorpio last month. Then on the 13th of June, we do have the sun in Gemini squaring the nodes. So it could feel like we're at this like crisis point where we are sort of approaching to do with our goals or our shifts and changes with the eclipses happening on this axis for us. I feel like this is kind of pushing us out of our comfort zone, pushing us to maybe take that step or to reassess or to just like be a bit kinder to ourselves and maybe how far we've come and how far we've got to go, to not really put too much pressure on what we're doing, just to kind of go with the flow, right? It's a very mutable energy. It's a very much just take what comes and work with what you've got energy. Maybe we're feeling a bit too rigid, and this is a sign that we need to just let go a little bit and overcome this structure that we might have put on ourselves and our goals and where we're wanting to be. It's kind of an energy that's suggesting to us to let go of it and just trust and don't be too hard on yourself. That's the energy I'm feeling from the 13th. Then on the 15th of June, we have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. Now, this energy won't happen again, probably not in the same capacity, because Uranus is set to move out of Taurus next month, which is again another huge energy. So this is a very interesting type of energy to work with. This energy is maybe suggesting to us that there is something unexpected that we're going to need to overcome. There's some unexpected challenge, roadblock, or just inflammation in our life that we're experiencing. Maybe we're having an unexpected breakthrough. Maybe we're having an unexpected challenge come across our path that we're needing to be a little bit more creative to work around it. Maybe it's suggesting to us to stop being so fixed and rigid again in our decision making or our motivation with maybe putting ourselves into this box, like I was saying on the 13th with the sun square the nodes. It's more again suggesting to us that we're needing to break free from this rigidity, this rigidness that we've put around ourselves and our goals and our drive and our motivation and how we're wanting to achieve things. Mars has been in retrograde for so long, it's maybe helping us break out of that box, really pushing us to that next level, really pushing us and putting us in a situation that we're needing to overcome in a more unique, unexpected way. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will move out of Leo finally and into Virgo. With Mars in Virgo, we're focused on decluttering. We're focused on getting to the nitty-gritty and working through the details. We're motivated by data. We're motivated by actionable goals and ticking off those to-do lists. So if you're wanting to get down in the weeds and just really get stuck into researching, get stuck into cleaning, get stuck into decluttering, organizing, just any part of your life. It doesn't have to be cleaning your home. It can be cleaning any part of your life, wherever Virgo is ruling for you. But it could be cleaning up your diet. It could be cleaning up and cutting out things that are feeling toxic or holding you back. We're having obviously had the eclipses in Virgo and Pisces, and the South Node is currently in Virgo right now. So it's really again suggesting this is the transit to cut and let go of things that are holding us back. Then moving on to the 21st of June, we have the sun moving into Cancer. So happy Cancer season, happy birthday season to all the Cancer suns out there. This is your time to shine, even though you're ideally not quite like that energy on you too much. You like to be in your own sort of little energy, but however, it is your time to focus on you. The sun is in your homes and in your sign and lighting you up this Cancer season. So Cancer season is a wonderful time for connecting with our family, connecting with what nurtures and inspires us, and sort of connecting with our home, our roots. We might even be more inspired this month, this season of Cancer season, because we do have Jupiter in Cancer, which we'll touch on when Jupiter does conjoin the Sun in Cancer very soon, leading up into the new moon a bit later in the month. Also on the 21st, we have Mercury in Cancer trining the North Node in Pisces and sextiling the South Node in Virgo. So we might be having conversations, ideas, or motivation to go after those goals and dreams that we're wanting to work towards. Go after those changes that we're wanting to make in our lives that we had maybe come up for us around that full moon that needed to come to completion, that we needed to have that kind of bit of a push to really go after it, to be like light a fire under us a little bit, to really go after and sort of motivate ourselves and put ourselves out there in a really positive way. We might be having now those conversations that feel really healing, that feel really motivating, and that feel really inspiring in a really grounded, nurturing way, but also a very receptive way too, because it is a very receptive energy with the sextile to the South Node and trine to the North Node. Then on the 23rd of June, we do have Sun in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries. So this is a challenging energy. We may be feeling stuck, held back, or a bit unmotivated. We might be feeling a bit just stuck, not too sure how to move forward. We may be not too sure how to put our energy into something if we're feeling like we're trapped in a box. We might be feeling restricted or challenged in some way. Leading in to the new moon happening on the 25th of June. Now this new moon is happening at 4 degrees and 7 minutes of Cancer, and also at the time of this new moon we do have the Sun conjoining Jupiter in Cancer. So we do have this more challenging energy with the Sun squaring Saturn in Aries. We do have some really beautiful positive energy around the time of this new moon. We have the Sun, the Moon and Jupiter in an extremely tight conjunction in the sign of Cancer, forming a positive sextile to Mars in Virgo. So we may be feeling like we can sort of cut through the unnecessary rubbish that we might have been working on following that full moon in Sagittarius. We could be feeling like we're wanting to really connect with and reconnect with our roots, our home, our family, nurturing ourselves, our mind, our body, and just really connecting maybe spiritually, maybe really diving deeper into what spirituality means to us, into how it feels in our body and who we are. Maybe we are just really tuning in to our intuition. Cancer is a very intuitive energy. It's very much connected to those waves of emotions, that deep current of emotions that we all have. It could be a wonderful time if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed or in the feels this new moon to maybe go to a body of water if you can, or even just a bath of water, or just water in some capacity to really connect with and to ground yourself in some way. Water is very healing, very cleansing. So I feel like this new moon is a very cleansing energy. We do have Mercury in Cancer forming a trine to Saturn in Aries. So it is giving us this opportunity to maybe step out of our own way, step out of this energy of restriction or challenge. Mercury might be suggesting that there is opportunity through challenge that could be presenting itself. Maybe are feeling this overwhelming sense of restriction, but maybe we are needing to be a bit more restrictive with ourselves. We have Jupiter in the mix here in this new moon, so Jupiter obviously expands everything it touches, so we could be feeling like we are maybe overdoing it a little bit in some capacity, or there's some sense of overdoing it in our lives right now that we're maybe needing to just take a little step back from, and we are needing to put a bit of restrictive energies in place. At the time of this new moon, Saturn will be also forming a sextile again to Pluto and a sextile to Uranus, and Uranus will also be trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. This energy is happening for quite some time with the outer planets in these energies, especially when Uranus does move into Gemini next month. It will even be more intense because it will be forming a air trine. So this energy is interesting. We are feeling it for a while, and they are outer planets, so it is a little bit of more of an outer energy, collective energy, but we maybe are uncovering something that we're needing to uncover, that is maybe been holding us back or has been putting a restrictive energy on us that we're finally able to overcome in some sense. Also, at the time of this new moon, Venus will be forming a trine to the south node and a sextile to the north node. So again, there's this nice energy happening. Maybe those conversations that we were having around the 21st of June are starting to take fruition, are starting to take traction. We're maybe investing our time, energy, and finances and resources into situations that could be aligning us with the goals that we're wanting to achieve, and we're able to let go of something that could have been holding us back, or that could have been something that we're not aligning with our values or ourselves or this new person that we're becoming anymore. So overall, this energy for this new moon in Cancer is very much this needing to reconnect with our roots, with ourselves, with our family, with what lights us up. Maybe it's clearing this space. It's letting go. A new moon is a time for letting go, rest, introspection. We're very much introspecting into ourselves and our emotions, our emotional world, connecting with our intuition, connecting with our sense of spirituality, what that means to us on a very personal level, and maybe able to identify areas where we're placing restriction on ourselves, or that has been restriction placed on us in some way that we're needing to overcome. Then on the 27th of June, we do have Mercury moving into the sign of Leo. So Mercury is a little challenged in Leo. It's a little bit of its detriment energy. So Mercury isn't the best in Leo, which could be a little challenging. It can be that we are feeling loud and proud with how we communicate and express ourselves and the ideas. Beautiful energy for creative thinking. However, our ideas and conversations might not be taken and received in the way we're meaning it to be. We could be feeling like people are not quite picking up what we're putting down. So it is a little challenging energy for Mercury, but it is a fun energy. It's a great energy for public speaking, putting yourself out there, or having conversations where you're needing to be the center of attention. On the 28th of June, we do have Mercury in Leo trining Saturn in Aries, which is a nice energy. We may be able to sort of move forward from those roadblocks that we're having. Mercury obviously was trining Saturn at the time of that new moon, but now we're maybe moving into some more creative and inspirational energy that could be setting us up for the long term, or we could be having ideas that take a bit more of a longer term implementation energy that could just be more inspiring for us to go after or to put our energy into. Also on the 28th of June, we do have, again, Mercury in Leo trining Neptune in Aries as well. So maybe we're having interesting, creative, inspirational ideas that we're feeling really inspired about, feeling really passionate about. But again, Mercury is a bit challenged in Leo, so how we're communicating and expressing these ideas might not be received in the way that we want them to be. Maybe we're feeling really just lit up and passionate and inspirational. We're wanting to have these inspirational chats and expressions of ourselves, but they're not being received in the way that we're wanting them to be. So just to be cautious of that energy, because then leading into the 29th of June, we have Mercury opposing Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So this energy will be around for a little bit, because Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde literally the next day. Well, in its retrograde shadow period the next day. So just to be cautious about the conversations that you're having could feel quite triggering. You could feel that you are having these inspirational ideas that you're so passionate and excited to share, but people aren't ready to hear them. People aren't ready to receive them. And that could leave you feeling a bit bruised to your ego, or it could be feeling like people just aren't appreciating the work that you're doing or the ideas that you're coming up with, or just you're not having the conversations that feel inspiring or lighting you up. There's a lot of triggered energy happening around the end of this month and into next month. So just to be cautious of this energy. And again, on the 30th of June, Mercury's retrograde shadow period begins. So I do want to do something new this month and pull a card for the collective and sort of see what energies will be prominent for us to focus on. I will be pulling one for each rising sign, but I thought I'd pull one for the collective so we can see what other energies along with our rising sign energies that we can focus on this month of June. This one flew out, which is love, which I love. Allow it to pour in and out of you. And I feel like that's such a nice energy. It's even got the moon, since we're going to have so much Cancerian energy this month. I feel like love is always important. Share it, receive it, give it around. There's never enough love in the world, especially right now. So along with your individual rising sign card, I want you to think about how you can implement more love into your life this month of June. But if you'd like to see where this energy is happening for you based on your rising sign, keep on watching. So for Aries and Aries rising, this month of June is happening throughout your second house, your third house, and most importantly, your fourth house of home and family. At the beginning of the month, Venus will be moving into your Taurus second house, which is a wonderful transit for your finances, your financial streams of income, your values. You might be investing in your finances more, investing in ways that can make you money, or just reassessing your finances, or you might be receiving some positive news when it comes to how you make your money. On the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer fourth house, so you might be having conversations that feel really nurturing, really grounding, and really light you up and fill your cup up in some way. Maybe you're having conversations or just gatherings with your family that feel really nurturing and loving. So it's a wonderful transit to connect with those that are your family, are your chosen family, or how make you feel like family this month of June and throughout June into July. On the 10th of June, the biggest transit of this month will be happening with Jupiter moving into your fourth house of home and family, really amplifying this energy. Jupiter will square Saturn pretty much instantly when it does move into your Cancer fourth house. So again, this energy could feel really challenging and overwhelming for you, especially when the sun moves into this house for you later in the month. So just to be cautious, this energy is going to be really triggered this month and into next month with all the planets moving through your fourth house of home and family, forming a bit of a T-square to your ascendant and descendant, as well as Saturn on your ascendant potentially, or leading up to conjoining your ascendant at some point over the next 3 years. So just be cautious. This energy could just feel restricting on your inspiration, on your home, your family, or your dreams, or wanting to grow bigger, wanting to do things that feel expansive in some way. You could be feeling a restrictive energy around that over this month and into next month, and also while Jupiter does transit this fourth house for you for the next year or so. So just to be cautious, this energy could potentially stick around a little bit while Jupiter does sort of move out of that Saturn square. Then on the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your Sagittarius 9th house. So there could be some sort of culmination when it comes to your travel plans, when it comes to legalities, or when it comes to higher learning or study. Maybe you're wrapping up your studies that you've been working really hard on, Aries rising. So something is coming up here. Maybe you're planning on booking a trip, or you have a trip underway that's finally coming to culmination, that you've been working so hard to finally bring to fruition, finally bring into your life, finally achieve. So something is coming up here to do with that area in your life around the full moon on the 11th of June. On the 17th of June, Mars will be moving in to your Virgo 6th house. So this could feel really invigorating when it comes to your workout routines, when it comes to your health. Maybe you're wanting to just maybe you're feeling really motivated and lit up and inspired to put focus on your health and daily routines. And maybe there is possibly some issues or aggravation or tension coming up with maybe your co-workers, or if you have animals in your life, there could be some challenges here with them, or you just could be feeling really motivated to get your health under control and you have a kickstart on some sort of healthy era that you're moving into. Then on the 21st of June, the sun will move into your fourth house of Cancer. So there's going to be a lot of focus on this house for you this month, Aries rising. And this could feel a little challenging because this is going to square your ascendant and descendant at some point. You do also have some challenging energy in your first house at the moment, Aries rising, or if you're an Aries sun watching this, you do have some challenging energy that's leading up to either it is conjoining or it's leading up to being conjoining your natal placements. That is Saturn and Aries. Now this energy is new. It hasn't been around for a wee while. So It could be causing a lot of challenge, restriction, feelings of just needing to restructure and reshape things in your life, but this could feel quite triggering to do with your home and family life. So with the sun moving into this house for you, it is going to square Saturn pretty much instantly. So it could feel a little triggering, challenging, and just like there's some sort of restriction on you or your energy and vitality that you've been not really experiencing before, and it could feel quite hard to work through. So just to be cautious of this energy. Then on the 25th of June, there will be the new moon in Cancer. Now this will be happening in your 4th house of home and family. If you've been wanting to manifest in a new house or a new environment to make your home, or you're wanting to sort of invest time, energy, and resources into restructuring or redoing some part of your home, this is a nice new moon to manifest that into your life to come to fruition for the next 6 months for you. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 5th house. This is a wonderful energy for just connecting with those that make you feel loved and seen. A really lovely energy for investing your time and energy into your hobbies or what brings you joy, or if you have children in your life, investing your time and energy into them. There could be some interesting conversations that you're having to do with this part in your life, or maybe you're having conversations with a new potential romantic partner around the 27th of June. Then on the 30th of June, a Mercury retrograde shadow occurs, so it's moving into its retrograde shadow area. It's not retrograde just yet. That will happen next month. So whatever is coming up for you towards the end of this month, pay attention, put a pin in it. If you have a romantic partnership that's coming up, or you're having these really romantic conversations, as it's in your 5th house of romantic partnerships, or if you're having conversations to do with your hobbies or what lights you up, brings you joy, or even to do with your health, maybe you're wanting to invest in your daily routines or things like that. If it's not quite taking off or moving forward, just know that it might come back around while Mercury is retrograde. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Aries and Aries rising. That one just jumped out. Manifest what you desire is on its way. So that could be to do with that Jupiter moving into your 4th house. That could be to do with that Cancer new moon that's going to be happening towards the mid to end of this month. But just a reminder that what you are seeking is on its way. What you desire is on its way. And it may not feel like that right now with Saturn in your 1st house or so closely conjoining either your sun or your ascendant, but just remember that what you're manifesting is on its way to you, Aries and Aries rising. So for Taurus and Taurus rising, June's energy will be happening throughout your 1st house, your 2nd house, and most importantly, your 3rd house. At the beginning of the month on the 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your 1st house of Self, which is fantastic. A lovely energy with Venus finally moving out of that 12th house for you. She has been there for a wee while. And so now she's going to be moving through your 1st house of Self, really magnifying and intensifying your magnetic energy. So you might feel really potent and magnetic this month with Venus moving through your 1st house. Really utilize this energy to invest in yourself, invest in your physical body, whatever that looks like for you, whether that be getting a new haircut, whether that be just treating yourself to some nice clothes, or just looking after your body and your vessel. That will be what is most important for you this month with Venus transiting that 1st house of Self. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 3rd house, a wonderful energy for having conversations that feel really lit up and inspirational to you. Maybe you're having conversations that help you feel really nurtured and really seen and understood, or having conversations that fill your cup up this month for you, Taurus rising, which is perfect with Venus also moving through your 1st house of Self. Then on the 10th of June, one of the biggest transits, actually probably the biggest transit this month, is Jupiter moving into your 3rd house of communication. So if you're wanting to study or learn or feel inspired, this is the year to do so. With Jupiter transiting that 3rd house, you're going to be feeling more inspired to think bigger, dream bigger, and go deeper when it comes to your researching and investigating any sort of study that you want to do. If you're wanting to lean into your intuitive studies or spiritual studies, this is a wonderful energy to do so. I highly recommend studying this year, or looking into studying this month, but mainly this year while Jupiter is transiting this house for you, especially with Mercury also transiting this house for you this month, could be a good energy to start looking into what it is you might like to study. It's also a wonderful energy if you're thinking of publishing anything or putting any work out there. This is a wonderful energy for that. It's also a wonderful energy for businesses and online commerce, and if you're wanting to travel It's wonderful energy for traveling locally and connecting with your local neighborhood. Now, Jupiter will square Saturn in your 12th house, so it could feel a little triggering, challenging, could be bringing up some restrictions on your intuitive abilities potentially, but it is just an energy to be cautious of, as it will mitigate as Jupiter moves through your Cancer 3rd house. On the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your Sagittarius 8th house and your Gemini 2nd house. So there could be some financial streams of income or some work that could be coming to a close. Maybe you're closing off some debt. Maybe you're looking at cashing out some sort of investment, or maybe you're getting paid from a loan or an inheritance of some sort. Something is coming to a culmination here that could be something that you've been waiting on for some time. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 5th house. This could feel a little triggering, challenging when it comes to what lights you up and brings you joy, but you also might feel more inspired to invest your energy into what lights you up and brings you joy, and having conversations or getting deep and investing in your health and wellness of some sort. Whatever's bringing you happiness in this area of life for you, it's in Virgo, so it could be decluttering or clearing out something that's been holding you back. Mars will conjoin the South Node in this house for you over the next few weeks. So it is a nice energy. It's a challenging energy because it is Mars, one of our most malefic planets, but it is a energy of cutting ties and severing yourself away from things that are no longer lighting you up or bringing you joy. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will move into your Cancer 3rd house, further emphasizing the importance of studying, investigating, conversations, or putting your work out there this month. Then on the 25th of June, we do have the new moon happening in your Cancer 3rd house. So this is a lovely energy to actually call in manifestations, actually put your intentions out there because you're calling it in. You're literally speaking it into existence. We've got a lot of really nice energy around the time of this new moon. So it's a wonderful new moon for manifesting, especially if you want to manifest home, family, work, study, whatever is important for you at this season of your life. This is a wonderful new moon to manifest. Then on the 27th of June, we have Mercury moving in to your Leo 4th house. So you might be having conversations to do with your home or family. So it could be having conversations. Maybe you're feeling creatively inspired to do things around the home and make it feel like a more invigorating and creative space for you. And lastly, on the 30th of June, Mercury will move into the shadow retrograde period before it stations retrograde next month. So whatever is coming up conversation wise to do with your home and family is likely going to come back up during Mercury's retrograde period. So just to be cautious of this, as this energy will come back around. So whatever's coming up now, pay attention, as you might be revisiting it into next month. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Taurus and Taurus rising. Literally jumped out again. I had this card for Aries, but manifestation is such a key message, I guess, this month. So manifestation, what you desire is on its way. That is definitely that Jupiter energy. I feel like Jupiter moving into Cancer, it's in its exaltation. It's a very strong placement for Jupiter. And in your 3rd house, you can literally speak your manifestations into reality. So just be conscious of that, Taurus rising, especially with Venus in your 1st house. It's like magnetic as it's super magnetic. So utilize that Cancer new moon towards the later end of the month. So for Gemini and Gemini rising, this month of June will be happening throughout your 12th house, your 1st house, and most importantly, your 2nd house. At the beginning of the month, on the 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your 12th house of Taurus. Now, this could be a little challenging as this is the house of hidden parts of society, hidden enemies, and the subconscious realm. So it could be meaning that your finances or relationships are starting to take a bit of a back seat. Maybe they're not so available to be seeing what's happening there. Maybe your finances are a little bit uncertain, or maybe things are just happening behind the scenes that you're not quite privy to yet, especially when it comes to your finances or your relationships. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 2nd house. So maybe you're having conversations to do with your finances or your resources that feel really nurturing, that are lighting you up and making you feel inspired. Maybe they're helping you move towards calling a new financial stream of income, or you're just having conversations about calling in more work that feels more nurturing for you. Then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will be moving out of your first house and into your second house. Now this will be a nice shift as Jupiter will be in its exaltation in your second house of Cancer, and if you have your Jupiter in your second house of Cancer, it will be your Jupiter return. So it could mean that you are going to find that you might have an expansion to your finances. You might have new streams of income come through that maybe you weren't expecting, or have just been a bit of you're feeling more inspired and motivated, or things are just kind of a bit more blowing out of proportion when it comes to your finances. Maybe things are just feeling really intense and really motivating right now for you, Gemini rising. It could just feel like things are just getting bigger and better when it comes to your financial streams of income. On the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your 7th house of relationships and one-to-one contractual agreements. You might find if you have any contracts in your life or relationships that are sort of a contractual agreement, could be going through a shift and change. Something is coming to a culmination here. It could be that you are experiencing some sort of ending or culmination, or something just coming to a final close in a good way when it comes to your contracts. Maybe you're wrapping a contract up that has been sort of undergoing some sort of work over the past few months, but now it's finally coming to a close in a good way. On the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 4th house. This energy is fantastic if you're needing to do any changes to your home or your home environment, or have those difficult sort of severing to do with certain situations to do with your home. Maybe you're just feeling inspired to declutter, clear up, or clean out some parts of your home, or have conversations or situations that are to do with your family are kind of coming up for you to really put your attention and energy into. Maybe you're needing to remove yourself from certain situations that are feeling no longer aligned with you, or no longer helping you, and making you feel maybe a little held back because Mars will be conjoining the South Node. And we have had the eclipses in these houses, so it's likely you do kind of know what is coming up for you with this energy, but is likely going to be the time where you need to take action. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will move into your Cancer second house, further amplifying that financial house for you, Gemini rising, because that will also then lead into the new moon happening on the 25th of June in that second house. A wonderful new moon for manifesting and calling in new financial streams of income, calling in new opportunities to invest and grow your finances in some way, especially with that Jupiter energy in your second house right now. Really utilize that energy. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 3rd house, amplifying that conversational energy, amplifying having conversations that feel really creative, having conversations that feel really inspiring. Maybe you're wanting to look at some study, or look at some travel, or just have conversations that help you feel really creative and really inspired in some way. Now pay attention to what is coming up for you at the later end of this month and into the beginning of next month, as Mercury will be moving into its shadow retrograde period on the 30th of June. So whatever conversations you're having around this time are likely going to come back up to the surface. So if things don't fully take off as planned, just know that they will likely come back around. So let's have a look at what the cards have in storage for you, Gemini and Gemini rising. That one wanted to jump out. Heart, emotions and intuition, and I think we were talking about that a little bit with your intuitive energy when Jupiter does move into your second house. With Jupiter in an intuitive house like Cancer or in one of the water signs, it is a really wonderful time to invest in and listen and tap into your intuition. So this is suggesting to tap into your emotions and intuition this month, and especially with Mercury moving through your 3rd house of Leo. Leo rules the heart, and we're going to be moving into Leo season next month, so tap into that a little early this month of June, Gemini rising. So for Cancer and Cancer rising, this is a big month for you this month of June. At the beginning of the month, we're kicking off Venus moving into your 11th house of relationships, friendships, networking and connections, as well as your hopes, dreams and wishes. It's a wonderful transit of Venus for you to really invest in relationships that help you feel seen and on the right track towards your hopes, dreams dreams and wishes that you're wanting to call into your life. Venus is also really amplifying this energy if you're wanting to connect with friendships or get out there and network to do with your finances or to do with your work or to just do with networking in general, to open up yourself to new opportunities. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your first house of South Cancer rising. So a wonderful energy to articulate and have conversations that help you feel really seen and understood. Maybe you're feeling like you're gaining your voice again with Mercury moving out of your 12th house. Maybe you're able to have conversations where you're able to stand up for yourself and express how you are feeling rather than listening to how others are feeling. Then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will be moving into your first house of Self. This is a wonderful energy. This is a new year for you, Cancer rising, with Jupiter moving into this house for you. This is a magnetic energy. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. It's a wonderful energy for just calling in new opportunities, for opening yourself up to new possibilities when it comes to work, when it comes to new health journeys, or just opening yourself up to just really investing in your health, especially your physical health, and also maybe looking at going overseas or travel or something to do with these areas in life for you, especially you, Cancer rising. I think this energy will be really amplified for you this year. Maybe you're just wanting to explore and get out there or shift things up in some way, especially if you also have heavy Sagittarius or Pisces energy in your chart natally. Then on the 11th of June, we do have the full moon happening in your 6th house of Sagittarius. So there could be some interesting work situations or things that could be coming up that are coming to a culmination point. Maybe you've been working behind the scenes on things that could be coming up to the surface for you and could be just coming to a culmination point. Maybe you've been working hard at signing a contract or getting things underway behind the scenes, and now you're finally able to start that new daily routine or start that new routine and work situation for you, Cancer rising. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 3rd house. This is an interesting energy. It could feel like conversations may be getting a little heated. You might be wanting to dive deep into the details or are motivated to clean up or clear out any sort of situations or relationships, especially family relationships, extended relationships within your family, or even to do with any sort of study. Maybe you're just really ready to wrap it up or remove yourself from situations that feel no longer good for you, and maybe you're just looking at sort of changing up or shifting or removing yourself from some sort of local situation that you're in. Maybe you're looking at just traveling and getting about, or just getting out there and just investing in your health and well-being in some way. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will be moving into your Cancer 1st house. I also want to highlight that with all this energy happening in your 1st house of Self, it will be forming a bit of a square to your 10th house of Aries, especially with Saturn recently moved into here along with Neptune in your 10th house of Aries. Both will be going retrograde soon, so this energy will be a little bit lightened and a little bit eased off a little bit, but at the moment it will feel quite intense and quite restrictive. So you might be wanting to feel really expansive and do all these new and exciting things, but Saturn's saying slow down, hold up a little bit and just wait. Things will come at the right time. Then on the 25th of June, we do have the new moon happening in your 1st house of Self. So this is a lovely new moon to manifest. There is some interesting energy around the time of the new moon, but there's also some really positive energy. So it's a wonderful new moon to manifest things that are really going to impact you on a very personal level. What is it that you want to call in and bring into this world, Cancer rising? As this is the new moon to manifest that. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving in to your 2nd house of finances. So this is a nice energy to have conversations around your financial health. How is it looking and how can you improve it? How can you have conversations with people that feel more creatively inspiring so you can call more resources in to support you? Pay attention to what's coming up right now, is because Mercury will be moving in to its shadow retrograde period on the 30th of June. So whatever's coming up right now will likely come back up around when Mercury does a station retrograde and then moves out of that retrograde period again. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Cancer and Cancer rising. don't stop. A miracle is around the corner. I feel like that's that Saturn in the 10th house energy for you right now, Cancer rising. I feel like you're like, this is so hard. There's a lot of pressure and I just want to stop. This is too much. It's too overwhelming. But I think don't stop. Something amazing is coming around the corner. A miracle is around the corner for you, Cancer and Cancer rising. So don't stop. Don't give up. Jupiter's moving into your first house. It's going to be there for a year. So this is a wonderful energy to call in and really accept those blessings that are coming into your life, Cancer and Cancer rising. So for Leo and Leo rising, this energy of June will be happening throughout your 10th house, your 11th house, and your 12th house. At the beginning of the month, on the 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your 10th house of public reputation, your career, and your most public achievements. This is a wonderful energy. You might be feeling like you are getting more recognition for the hard work that you've been putting in. Maybe you're receiving more financial benefits or payouts, or more clients coming into your life and really receiving the fruits of your labor over these past few months. Finally, Venus is moving into this house for you. It's been in your 10th house and 9th house for a wee while. Now it's finally receiving that payout that you've been working so hard on. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 12th house. So conversations that you could be having behind the scenes, maybe you're wanting to tap into your intuition a bit more, maybe you're just wanting to receive more subconscious information. Maybe pay attention to your dreams this month, Leo rising, as you might be receiving some interesting energy come through in ways that you maybe didn't expect, or having intuitive hits that maybe you haven't been having for a little while. Then on the 10th of June, the biggest transit of the month will be happening for you, Leo rising, and that is Jupiter moving into your 12th house. So you could be feeling inspired to tap in to your intuition, to tap into your spiritual studies, or to really connect with people or sort of groups of people that are maybe more hidden behind the scenes. Maybe you're investing in maybe your studies or intuitive abilities in some way, or maybe you are experiencing certain health issues really be amplified or come to the surface. So pay attention to your health, pay attention to your mental health with this transit of Jupiter through this 12th house for you. There could be some big endings, there could be some big shifts and changes, especially mentally. So there could be some big shifts happening for you this year, Leo rising, but it is a positive. Although Jupiter will square Saturn in your 9th house, so it will be a little challenging and a little tricky, especially if you do have any cardinal placements. It might just feel a little amplified, it might feel a little bit tricky, but it is providing you with an opportunity to overcome something in a really powerful, magnified way. Then on the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your 5th house of relationships, romantic partnerships, hobbies, and also children. So something is coming to a culmination here. Maybe you've been seeing someone new and not sure where it's going, or maybe just shifting into a new phase of life with your family or children, or maybe you're just enjoying a new hobby that you've been working so hard on accomplishing. Something is coming up here. It's a nice energy for this full moon. It's going to be a tricky full moon, but in your 11th and 5th houses, it's a bit mitigated and a bit nicer, and you might be receiving this energy in a bit more of a positive way. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 2nd house. This could feel a little triggering, challenging, or just you're maybe feeling more inspired to cut away streams of income that no longer light you up, that no longer inspire you, and you're feeling a bit held back by, in order to align yourself with work that does more amplify your values and just feels more inspirational in that way. I do feel like this energy could feel a little triggering when it comes to your actual financial health and how that's looking, but maybe it could be inspiring you to help clean this up and get you on the right track. Then on the 21st of June, the sun will be moving into your Cancer 12th house, really amplifying this energy of happening behind the scenes, because then moving into the 25th of June, the new moon will be happening in this 12th house for you. So it could be a really nice new moon to think about things you're wanting to call into fruition, thinking about things that you're really wanting to bring out for that you've been working from behind the scenes to reality, to the surface. What is it that you're wanting to really deeply connect with that aligns with you in a really deeply emotional way? Really tune into your intuition this new moon, especially if you have Cancer placements, as this will be really amplifying this energy. So it could be a really powerful new moon to really call in and manifest something new and interesting and maybe a bit unexpected, and maybe not what others are kind of thinking that you're wanting to call in, but more sort of keeping it private to yourself before it really starts to gain traction and gain momentum. On the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your first house of self. So finally, those conversations that might have been happening behind the scenes are starting to feel a little bit more personified, starting to feel a little bit more tangible, because Mercury will be moving into its shadow retrograde period on the 30th of June. So whatever conversations are coming up for you right now, Leo rising, are likely going to come back up to the surface while Mercury is transiting through its retrograde shadow period and its retrograde period. So just put a pin in it. If it's not quite manifesting right now, it will probably show up after Mercury's been through its retrograde period. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Leo and Leo rising. Gratitude. Appreciate present blessings. So I feel like that's maybe that Jupiter energy behind in the 12th house. Maybe that's Jupiter really pushing forward out of the hidden sort of realms of your mind or just life in general. It's just appreciating the blessings that you do have and that are happening for you that maybe are unseen. And also appreciate the present blessings. So appreciate what you currently have in your life instead of what you're feeling like you're missing or maybe not obtaining just yet. So have some gratitude this month, Leo rising, as things are happening and they will start to manifest out of behind the scenes once we move out of all of this Cancer energy and into July. So for Virgo and Virgo rising, this month of June, this energy will be happening throughout your 9th house, your 10th house, your 11th house, and your 12th house. At the beginning of the month, Venus will be moving in to your 9th house of travel, overseas connections, and also legalities. So there could be some positive energy or positive news when it comes to working with people from foreign cultures or overseas, or working with others from different parts of the world, planning travel to different parts of the world, or maybe you're waiting for some good news when it comes to some study that you've been undertaking, or even some legalities that are maybe happening for you in your life right now. The 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 11th house. So having conversations with relationships that help you feel really inspired and motivated and nurtured, and that your cup is being filled up, will be really important during this month of June for you. You could be feeling like you're connecting with people that are setting you on the right path towards your hopes and dreams, especially on the 10th of June as Jupiter does move into this house for you, which is a wonderful year-long transit of really motivating and inspiring you to maybe get out of your own way, maybe get out of your shell, maybe put yourself out there in a way that you're able to really go after your hopes, dreams, and wishes and connect with people that are going to help motivate you and inspire you, and maybe bring some lucky opportunities your way. Now, Jupiter will form a square to Saturn in your 8th house, so this energy could feel a little bit challenging and triggering, and maybe amplifying your financial health or how your finances are looking. Maybe you are feeling restricted and held back to do with your finances and actually going after your hopes and dreams. So just be cautious of this energy. It will mitigate a bit when Jupiter does move through this house for you, but this will be present when Jupiter does move into this house on the 10th of June and throughout June with all of the transits through this house for you. Then on the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your 4th house of home and family. So something is coming to a culmination to do with your work, home, life, maybe a situation that you've been waiting on news for, or maybe just something to do with this balance of energy in your life. Maybe you're needing to sort of reconfigure or refocus on your work and home life balance, or maybe you've been waiting for news to do with your home and family that's finally coming to a culmination point. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 1st house. So this energy could feel a little bit challenging, triggering, or maybe motivating to do with getting yourself out there. Again, this motivating energy to putting yourself out there, going after it is what you want, and just feeling really inspired to cut away things that could be holding you back, to removing yourself from situations that are not helping you feel seen and understood or listened to, or just maybe you're feeling like you're just needing to just let go of things that you feel that are physically holding you back in some way. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will move into your 11th house of Cancer, which will again amplify this energy for putting yourself out there, getting out there and connecting with others and going after your hopes, dreams and wishes. As on the 25th of June, we do have a new moon happening in this house for you as well. So this is a wonderful new moon for manifesting towards your hopes, dreams and wishes, and calling in relationships or networking or circles of people that are going to help you get there. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 12th house. So the conversations that maybe you're having could go a little bit private. Maybe you're connecting with people behind the scenes. You're not maybe sharing things right now. Maybe you're keeping things a little bit hidden until they gain a bit more traction and get a bit more tangible, which is a good thing because Mercury will be moving into its shadow retrograde period on the 30th of June. So it is important that whatever is coming up right now that you do sort of pay attention to, as it could be revisited during Mercury's retrograde shadow period over this month and into next month. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Virgo and Virgo rising. Joy, your inner child is here to play. I love that energy. I think that energy is really potent as it's happening in your 11th house, right? It's happening opposing your 5th house of Capricorn, happening in your 11th house of Cancer. I feel like your inner child is here to play. Listen to what lights you up. Go after your hopes, dreams and wishes and really pay attention to that Cancerian energy this month for you, Virgo rising, especially that new moon on the 25th of June. Tap into that, what lights you up and brings you joy, and what you want to manifest into your life this month and into the next few months ahead. So for Libra and Libra rising, this energy of June is happening throughout your 8th house, your 9th house, your 10th house, and your 11th house. At the beginning of the month, on the 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your Taurus 8th house. This is a wonderful energy for your finances, for calling in new streams of income, for investments. This is just a wonderful, harmonious energy, especially with your chart ruler transiting this house for you. Maybe you are finding that you are finally receiving payout or good news around your finances at the beginning of the month. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 10th house. So you could be having conversations in a very public setting, or you could be having conversations to do with your career, your public achievements, and maybe receiving the news or validation around the hard work that you have been putting in to your career and projects and public achievements. Then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will also be moving into your Cancer 10th house. So wonderful energy for your achievements, for your public visibility, for being seen and recognized for the hard work that you've been putting in, for receiving opportunities that could feel really expansive and could have the opportunity to really grow you in a way that feels really exciting, expansive, and at a very lucky time in your life. Things are likely working out to do with your career and your public achievements in a way that maybe you weren't so expecting before. It's likely feeling like things are just starting to happen and happen quickly and maybe bigger than you were expecting. This energy will square Saturn in your 7th house of relationships, so it might feel a little bit triggering or challenging. Maybe things are a bit bigger than you were expecting or busier than you were expecting, so you may be finding it a little bit tricky to balance this energy or to sort of work with this energy, but it is a really positive and it's maybe pushing you outside of your comfort zones, Libra rising. And then on the 11th of June, you will have the Sagittarius full moon happening in your 3rd house of communication. So maybe conversations or situations to do with travel, with study, or with your extended family are coming to a culmination around this time. Maybe you are receiving news or information that you've been waiting on, or maybe you are receiving some sort of settlement or some sort of something is maybe coming to a close to do with legalities of some sort. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 12th house. So all this energy might be sort of refocused behind the scenes. Maybe you're cleaning things up or clearing things out that maybe needed to be revisited and reviewed, that were sort of like holding you back in some way. Maybe you're just cleaning up to do with your health, your well-being, or your mental mental health. Maybe you're feeling inspired to really put in the work so that it will show in a really public way. Maybe you're just feeling really inspired to put in the work behind the scenes, and not necessarily in a public facing setting, but more behind the scenes and more privately. Then on the 21st of June, the sun will move into your 10th house, which will also bring more focus and more passion and intensity into your career and public achievements, because then leading into the 25th of June, we do have the new moon happening in your 10th house. So this is a wonderful new moon to call in new manifestations or new energy to do with your career and your public achievements. Maybe you're wanting to call in some sort of big project or recognition for a certain thing you've been working on. This is a wonderful new moon to do so. Then on the 17th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 11th house. So you could be having conversations with people or situations or within circles or friendships that help you feel really creative, inspired, and motivated to go after your hopes, dreams, and wishes. Just to be cautious that whatever conversations and things are coming up right now, if they're not necessarily taking traction, this is because Mercury is starting to move into its shadow retrograde period, which will be happening from the 30th of June onwards and throughout its retrograde period and retrograde shadow period into next month. So whatever conversations are coming up right now are likely going to be revisited during Mercury's retrograde period. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Libra and Libra rising. Love. Perfect card for you, Libra rising. This is the card we had for the pole for the collective. So love, allow it to pour in and out of you. And I do think this is very much present with that Venus transiting your 8th house of Taurus. So really embrace love this month, Libra rising. So for Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this month of June's energies will be happening throughout your 7th house, your 8th house, your 9th house, and your 10th house. At the beginning of the month, Venus will be moving in to your 7th house of partnerships, one-to-one connections, and contractual agreements. So this is a wonderful energy for these contractual partnerships in your life. You might be feeling like things are just going really well. They've been more harmonious. You're receiving more positive news or outcomes than maybe previously, and maybe things are just starting to like really amplify or really receive some financial payouts to do with your contractual agreements. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 9th house. So you could be having conversations that light you up and feel nurturing and inspiring to do with maybe travel or going overseas or traveling overseas, or conversations to do with study, or with maybe some sort of legality that you're working through is being refocused on, or you are sort of putting your energy into this month, because then on the 10th of June there's a lot of energy happening in this house for you, Scorpio rising. On the 10th of June, Jupiter will move into your 9th house of travel, overseas connections, legalities, and studies. So you could be feeling really inspired, if you're not already, to pursue higher study. You could feel inspired to travel, put yourself out there, or get out of your comfort zone during this transit of Jupiter. Now this will be a year-long transit. Jupiter is exalted in the sign, so it's a very positive energy. However, Jupiter will also square Saturn in your 6th house of work. So you might have all of this expansive energy to do all these fun and exciting things, especially travel, but you might be feeling a bit held back or a bit stuck to do with your work commitments. Maybe you are feeling like you're wanting to do all these fun things, but you are being held back by your work commitments and daily routines or health in some way. So just to be cautious of this energy when you are sort of working through the next few months and into the next year ahead. On the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your 2nd house of Sagittarius. So there's some sort of financial stream of income, some sort of financial payout, something to do with finances that's coming to a culmination point for you during the full moon this month, Scorpio rising. So something could finally be aligning for you. Something is coming to a culmination. Maybe you're receiving some sort of news or information to do with a loan or to do with some sort of debt. Maybe you are just receiving some sort of news or something's coming to a culmination, maybe even to do with work or some sort of work contract or agreement. Then on the 21st of June, the sun will be moving into your Cancer 9th house. So there could be some more intensity happening in this house for you, especially leading in to the new moon, which is happening on the 25th of June. This new moon is a wonderful new moon to call in new opportunities for travel, study, mobility or just getting yourself out there. If you're really wanting to call in a new travel opportunity or an opportunity to study something that you've been really wanting to get into, or a course you're really wanting to get into, or some sort of legality that you're really wanting to win, this is a wonderful new moon to manifest that energy, Scorpio rising. And then on the 27th of June, we do have Mercury moving into your 10th house of career. So whatever conversations that you're having likely are going to feel really creative, inspirational, and really lighting you up. You're likely being seen and recognized for the work that you're putting in. This energy will be interesting to take note of because on the 30th of June, Mercury will be moving into its shadow retrograde period. So whatever energies or conversations that are coming up for you right now, Scorpio rising, are likely going to come back around to the surface during Mercury's retrograde period. But let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Scorpio rising. Forgiveness, set yourself free. So something you're needing to forgive yourself this month for Scorpio rising. Maybe you've been having that challenging energy in your 6th house, especially with Saturn moving finally out of your 5th house into your 6th house. Setting yourself free though from those limitations that you might have been putting on your mind. Setting yourself free and maybe leaning into that expansive energy with Jupiter moving into that 9th house for you. But set yourself free this month with forgiveness, Scorpio rising. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This energy of June will be happening throughout your 6th house, your 7th house, your 8th house, and your 9th house. At the beginning of the month, Venus will be moving into your 6th house of Taurus, and this will be happening on the 6th of June. With Venus in your 6th house, this is a lovely energy to invest in your health, well-being, your daily routines, and you might be finding some really cohesive, harmonious energy happening in your work connections or with your colleagues or just in a work environment in general. Maybe you're finding that you are receiving more financial support or something to do with your work. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 8th house. So this is a nice energy to have conversations around your finances and your financial streams of income in a way that feels really nurturing and supportive. Maybe you are receiving the help that you've been needing. Maybe you are receiving the advice or just the support that you've needed throughout these past few weeks and months. Maybe you're finally receiving that information that you've been waiting on, because then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will be moving into this house for you. Now, this is a really positive transit. Jupiter will be exalted in Cancer, and with it in your 8th house, you can expect your finances to expand in some way. It is an important note to be cautious of if you are taking on more debt, that you could be tempted to take on more than necessary. So just to be cautious, as Jupiter is your chart ruler, of course, but it will be there'll be a lot of focus on your finances, on other people's money. So the money that you receive from other people, or if you have a shared income, that sort of will be of focus for you over this year. Now, Jupiter will form a square to Saturn in your 5th house, which is a bit of a nicer house, but it could still feel quite challenging and restrictive in that you want to invest in things that light you up or spend money on things that you really enjoy, but you could be feeling a little bit held back or stuck in some way. So just to be cautious, this energy will be present while Jupiter is transiting this house for you. On the 11th of June, the Sagittarius full moon will be happening in your 1st house of self. So there could be something that's coming up for you very personally that's coming up to a close or a culmination. Maybe you're finally ready to step out of something and into something new, or maybe you're just ready to just shed an old layer that you've been finally ready to release in some way. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your Virgo 10th house. So this will be giving you that motivation and drive to go after what it is you've been working on, to really receive the advice or situations or just projects in general. Maybe you're having more energy and motivation to put into the projects. Maybe you're letting go of certain work situations or projects that you've been working on that you're finally ready to just step away from, as Mars will conjoin the South Node in Virgo, in your Virgo 10th house, into this transit. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will move into your 8th house of shared resources, leading in to that new moon on the 25th of June. So there's a lot of energy happening in your your 8th house this month, Sagittarius rising. A really wonderful new moon to manifest new streams of income, manifest support with your finances, just manifest money in general. This is a really nice energy to do so, especially manifesting any investments that you have with Jupiter in your 8th house. I would suggest looking into investments as they could expand in some way that maybe you hadn't expected or seen before. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your 9th house of travel, overseas, and connecting with people from foreign cultures along with legalities. So if you have having any conversations to do with travel or connecting or working with people from overseas, or even some legal or study sort of situations that you're wanting to sort of look at or are currently going through, this could be a focus towards the tail end of this month, and also something to pay attention to, because on the 30th of June, Mercury will move into its shadow retrograde period. So whatever's coming up now has the possibility to come back round. So if things aren't taking traction in the way that you had hoped, just put a pin in it. It will come back around likely once Mercury is fully direct into late July, early August. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Sagittarius rising. Manifestation. This is the 3rd time this card has come up. I feel like June is such a ripe month for manifesting. So what you desire is on its way, and I feel like that's following that new moon in Cancer, following on the 25th of June. So really pay attention to that Cancer new moon and really lean into that energy and use it to manifest something new, interesting, exciting, expansive to do with your finances into this year ahead, Sagittarius rising. So for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this energy of June will be happening throughout your 5th house, your 6th house, your 7th house, and your 8th house. At the beginning of the month, on the 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your 5th house of relationships, romantic partnerships, your what lights you up and brings you joy, along with the house of children. So this is a lovely energy for investing your time and resources into what lights you up, brings you joy. You're likely just feeling really lit up, inspired, and motivated. Just really invest in what just makes you happy this month, Capricorn rising. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 7th house. So maybe conversations to do with contractual agreements or partnerships in some way will be highlighted for you with Mercury moving into this house. Maybe you're having conversations with your contractual agreements or one-to-one clients that feel really lit up, inspiring, and nurturing. And then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will also be moving into this house for you. So it's bringing good luck and expansion to this area in life. Maybe your clientele is going to expand in some way. Maybe your networking and connections is going to expand and grow in some way, shape, or form to do with your contractual agreements. Jupiter will, however, also form a square to Saturn in your 4th house during this transit. So you might be feeling like there's some sort of challenge that you have to overcome to do with your family or your home situation and to do with your contractual agreements. Something is coming up here that is causing a little bit of friction that you're needing to overcome in some way. Then on the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your Sagittarius 12th house. So something is coming to a close, coming to a culmination to do with your mental health, your physical health, your daily work routines and activities, or even your co-workers or just your work in general. Something is coming to a culmination point here that's kind of been moving through some shifts and changes and growing, and just sort of there's been a lot of activity happening in your 6th house, and maybe there's something behind the scenes is finally coming to a culmination point around the time of this full moon. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving in to your Virgo 9th house. So there could be some motivation to cut or remove or release yourself from some sort of legality, some sort of travel plans, overseas conversations with people from overseas, or any study. Maybe you're wrapping up something to do with studying or travel in some way that you're maybe just ready to finally remove yourself from or let go of some sort of goals and dreams that are no longer lighting you up or inspiring you to do with this area in life. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will be moving into your Cancer 7th house, which will be really, again, amplifying this energy for you, especially leading into the 25th of June when the new moon will be happening in your Cancer 7th house. So this is a nice new moon to really call in maybe new clientele well. Maybe new contractual agreements that you've been working on, sort of bringing in or calling on or nurturing and growing the current contractual agreements or arrangements, or even your marriage in your life. This is also the house of marriage. So if you are married, there's a lot of positive energy happening around your marriage. If you're wanting to grow it deeper or expand it in some way, or just move into a next phase together, this is a wonderful new moon to call that into. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your 8th house of Leo. So conversations to do with resources, other people's money, debt, inheritance, something is coming to a culmination point here that is probably going to be visible during Mercury retrograde shadow period and into Mercury retrograde. So if something isn't quite finished or conversations are left sort of like unfinished around this time, they will come back up to the surface and come back up for you to have conversations about and to revisit once Mercury is direct. So pay attention to the conversations that you're having around the end of the month. Let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Let go, relax and release. And I think that is very much that full moon in your 12th house. It's that letting go, release. And it's also to do with Mars transiting your 9th house. Letting go, releasing that energy. Letting go and releasing some sort of situation, some energy this month, Capricorn rising. So for Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this month of June, the energy will be happening throughout your 4th house, your 5th house, your 6th house, your 7th house, and your 8th house. The 6th of June, Venus will be moving into your 4th house of Taurus. This is a lovely energy for investing your time and resources into your home and family life. You might be finding that you're receiving some sort of financial news or information to do with your home, or you're just feeling like you want to invest and splurge in making your home space feel really comfortable and really inspiring and luxurious. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Cancer 6th house. So you could be having conversations to do with your health, your well-being, or work in some way that feels really nurturing and inspiring. Maybe you're feeling like people are sort of filling your cup up more. You're having conversations that are feeling really nurturing and feeling like you're able to fill up your cup and flow into others. Because then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will be moving into this house for you. Now Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so it will be a really positive energy for you with your health. If you have any health issues or work situations that aren't quite the best at the moment, things may be likely looking up, especially with Jupiter transiting this house. It can expand challenges that are happening, so just be cautious of this energy, but it's likely bringing a positive outlook into this area in life for you. Jupiter will square Saturn in your 3rd house, so just to be cautious about conversations. Situations could feel a little bit blown out of proportion, so just to be cautious of that energy with this Jupiter transit over this next year ahead. On the 11th of June, the full moon in Sagittarius will be happening in your 11th house. Something might be coming to a culmination point to do with your relationships, your friendships, your hopes, dreams and wishes, and what lights you up and brings you joy. Something you've been maybe working on, or a project that you've been working on, or something to do with, family. If you have any children in your life, something might be coming to a culmination point to do with them during this full moon in Sagittarius. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving into your 8th house of Virgo. So you could be really inspired to clean up your financial situation. You could be inspired to clean up any debt or situations that have been holding you back financially. Maybe you're cleaning up your investments or looking at how you can be motivated to sort of switch things up when it comes to your finances and let go of things that might be holding you back, especially when it comes to work or situations to do with your work and daily routines in general. Then on the 21st of June, the Sun will be moving in to your Cancer 6th house, really again amplifying this house for you this month, Aquarius rising, because on the 25th of June, the new moon will be happening in this house for you. So this is a wonderful new moon to manifest any new work, or if you've got any health challenges that you might be working on, this is a great new moon to call in a manifestation and call an intention around healing this area in life, around receiving new and positive information in this area in life for you, especially with this Jupiter energy happening in this house at the same time of this Cancer new moon. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 7th house. So you might be having conversations to do with your clients or with your contractual agreements or within your marriage if you're married that feel really creative, feel really inspiring and feel really fun and invigorating. So whatever conversations or situations are coming up for you during the later half of June, just pay attention to this because Mercury will be moving into its shadow retrograde period from the 30th of June into next month when it does station retrograde. So it could come back up to the surface for you to revisit during that time too. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Mystery, secrets and hidden meanings. Interesting energy. I feel like that could be to do with that Saturn in the third house. Saturn's recently moved into the third house. It's your chart ruler. It's the ruler of your 12th house. So maybe some hidden secrets are being uncovered. You're having maybe conversations, especially with that Jupiter square, to do with work or your health that are being uncovered. Mysteries are being revealed, maybe some secrets and hidden meanings. So something could be coming up here that maybe you weren't quite privy to before, especially potentially during that Mercury retrograde as well for you, Aquarius rising. So for Pisces and Pisces rising, this energy of June will be happening throughout your third house, your fourth house, your fifth house, and your sixth house. At the beginning of the month, Venus will be moving in to your third house of communication on the 6th of June. So maybe conversations that you're having are feeling really inspiring, motivating, or you're just having conversations that feel really nurturing, or you're having ideas around your business that you're wanting to invest your time and resources into, or even study. Maybe you're investing in some study that really lights you up and helps you feel motivated in some way. Then on the 9th of June, Mercury will be moving in to your Cancer 5th house. So maybe you're having conversations that feel really nurturing. You're able to connect with people that really light you up and align with your hobbies or your interests, or maybe you're just having some really powerful conversations to do with children in your life, or if you have children, maybe you're having a really beautiful, deep, connecting conversations with them, or just romantic partnerships in your life. Maybe you're connecting with them on a more deeper emotional level, because then on the 10th of June, Jupiter will be moving into your 5th house. So this is an interesting energy for you, Pisces and Pisces rising, as it could bring some really positive energy to do with children, to do with relationships, or to do with your whatever lights you up and brings you joy. Jupiter transiting this house is a really positive energy. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so it is a really positive energy and it will trine your ascendant at some point. However, Jupiter will be squaring Saturn in your 2nd house, so you could be feeling like you're inspired to invest in or grow these things that light you up and bring you joy. However, you're feeling a bit restricted financially, or things aren't quite aligning with your values that are shifting and being changed currently with Saturn transiting this house for you. So this energy will be present while Jupiter is transiting Cancer, so just to be conscious that this energy will be around for about a year. Not as long as that, but just while Jupiter is forming the square to Saturn. Then on the 11th of June, the full moon will be happening in your Sagittarius 10th house. So something might be coming to a culmination point to do with your home and family or work situation that you've been working really hard on, potentially behind the scenes. Maybe you're receiving that payoff from all that hard work that you've been putting in, Pisces rising. Then on the 17th of June, Mars will be moving in to your Virgo 7th house. So this could be indicating that you're ready to clean up and cut off connections, relationships, contractual agreements that no longer light you up, that no longer feel inspiring to you, that no longer align with this person you're becoming, that you're needing to let go of to create space to call in new clients that do align with you and this person and this energy that you're aligning yourself with and stepping into with the eclipses happening on your 1st and 7th houses, on your ascendant and descendant. This energy is really potent for you, Pisces rising. It could feel a little challenging and triggering, but it is a really important energy to really clean up and clear out in order to make room for something new to grow. Then on the 21st of June, the sun will be moving into your Cancer 5th house, really again amplifying this energy of this 5th house, because leading into the 25th of June, this is when the new moon in Cancer is happening. So if you're wanting to call in anything to do with this area in life, if you're wanting to call in a new relationship, partnership, or a new hobby or interest that you're wanting to just really align with people who can put you in the right path to achieving that, or if you're wanting to call in more connections with your family or children, this is a wonderful new moon to manifest that. So highly recommend, especially with this Jupiter energy. There's a bit of a challenging energy to Saturn, but I feel like it's more like it's setting you up for the long term to overcome challenges that could be quite triggering. Then on the 27th of June, Mercury will be moving into your Leo 6th house. So conversations to do with your health, your daily routines, your work could be really inspiring. You feel this new creative energy coming through to do with your work. So pay attention to whatever conversations are coming up for you around this time, because these will be revisited likely during Mercury's retrograde period, as Mercury will be moving in to its shadow retrograde on the 30th of June. So just to be cautious of this energy, as whatever's coming up now will likely come back up to the surface for you to review. But let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Pisces and Pisces rising. Caution, keep your guard up. So that's an interesting energy for you, Pisces rising. I could feel like that could be to do with that Mars transiting your 7th house, and it could be to do with Jupiter in the 5th house. Even though Jupiter is expansive and it's positive, it is squaring Saturn. So try not to put on too much of a rose-colored glasses, especially with Jupiter being your chart ruler, and just keep your guard up a little bit, because not all news is good news, potentially. So just to be cautious of that, but have a little bit of caution this month, Pisces and Pisces rising. But all up, it will be a bit of a positive month, especially for manifesting at that Cancer new moon on the 25th of June.